Hello everyone, welcome back to another update. So today, first I want to get two things out of the way. Some of you might have noticed that my camera setup is slightly different. I've been trying to just trying to see if I can work out, sacrifice a little bit of frame rates for the sharpness of the image. But you tell me if you notice any difference, if if you prefer the way it was before or now. You just let me know. Second thing is that to everyone that was concerned and sent me a lot of nice wishes and suggestions, I want to thank everyone. But everything is fine. I found a job and it's great. It's going great, and I've been able to in my spare time I've been able to continue working on my project. So everything's worked out perfectly. And so yeah, today for this update I will be talking to you about the map tiles I've been working toward completing so far. This is all the sort of, there is about 30 of them, and there's all the side A. Side B has not been done yet, but there's a lot of them, and I try to make the video as short as possible, just to give you as much information on what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to do with this. So, again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do and you want to help out, just the usual YouTube stuff, subscribe, like, and so on. So yeah, let's get on with it. To begin with, I'm going to show you the entrance of most map tiles, at least what the most missions will or quests rather will start on, which is just a simple 2x2 tile, and where each player will put their miniature on. So at the moment there is only this side that you see right here, and eventually there will be also another side on the back. So this will be based on the type of terrain that your mission will take you, essentially. So it could either be the sort of insides types of ruins, castles, dungeons, whatnot, or the other side would be like a wilderness, forest, all that kind of stuff. So but at the moment I only have this because for the purpose of testing. So, and each square it's 4 by 4 centimeters, and that it's made so that you can have large or small creatures without having to trying to create too much rule bloat regarding their position. So for example, if I show you a miniature of reference I have right here, which pretty much reflect the scale of what the final miniature for this project will be. See, they're very roomy, and they got a lot of all of those space. And this base is actually slightly even bigger than the final bases will be. So yeah, there's quite a lot of space for it. Okay, so that's it. Like each side, like I said, it's got each map tile is double-sided for an outside and an inside type of dungeon. So how do they connect to each other? At the moment, the way they work is that you put like an exit down, which is just a connector essentially, and then you get to place another map tile next to it, depending on how the card shows up in the tells you what to do essentially. So you just basically that's about it. Basically, you connect it like that. And yeah, that's how you basically keep on expanding the dungeons and as you explore it, basically. So this corridor right here, it's like a sort of like a storage area, like a corridor where there is like abandoned crates and barrels and whatnot. Each of these tiles, depending on the size, and some of them just for specific reasons, will have multiple exits. So for example, while you come in from this side, the exit there might be one exit here and one exit here. So you will have to make a choice whether or not your characters will explore left or right. And yes, as you can see, these little triangles here on the sides are to tell you that the terrain, there are obstacles in the way. So the characters that need to walk through this terrain will slow down a bit whenever they go through these squares. And yeah, and then you always have a tile identifier, like a tag that tells you what the name of the tile is, so it's easy to find in case you're not too sure, because there are about 30 tiles in the game. So this will help you identify it easier. And obviously the other side will be the same thing. There will be a wilderness with with the same feature on the site. So let's just explore a bit more tiles. So the way it works, right, is that in order to build a functioning map tile that makes sense, what you will end up doing is creating basically a deck of cards that will tell you what pieces to draw, right? And basically the idea is that there will be a shared piece, a shared sort of corridors and sort of map tiles that functions with every single piece, right? So all these pieces here, like these two corridors, for instance, they work with every other map tile in the game, except obviously the sides where it's the wilderness. But then there are like themed rooms that just works, for example, in type of like human-based castle, settlement and whatnot. And then there is another, like for example, like this, let's show you this armory, right? This is like an armory sort of like map tile, and this is part of the set that includes the sort of the more human-based construction and stuff. While if we have a look at the sort of the more ancient stuff, for example, here we have a sarcophagus type of room made with this sort of gold and black, and green marble with statues in the corners. So this, for example, belongs to the second set, and this belongs to the first set. And these corridors here, they belong to the sort of the generic one, so they can go anywhere. So this can be connected to that or to that, but these two here usually are not found always in the same dungeon, with some exception, of course. I don't want to also spoil a little bit the game itself. But also there is features that you will find on the card itself that will tell you some extra rules that this tile might have. For instance, this one here, you see there's like a little cadaver here, like left, and you will usually place a token here that you will be able to collect. There could be traps, like items that you collect, like gold or whatnot, So there will be quite a lot of interactivity with the map tile. At least that is the idea. I'm still refining though exactly all of the things that you'll be able to collect along the way. This other map tile here, again, another one of the corridors. It's a little bit more generic. This one is a little bit more plain, and it's like this is the most plain you'll get. Essentially, it's just squares. There is no hindrance, nothing. But obviously, this, if I'm not mistaken, might actually end up spawning some monsters or something. So to make it a little bit more interesting as you walk through. The point is that it should never be boring. There should always be something for you to do in each map tile you explore, essentially. Yeah, and like there is a lot of detail that goes into each one of them, like a lot of detail. It's not just a random drawing or anything. There is a lot to do with the actual story of the world itself. Like this one here, it's very there's this giant mermaid statues here in the middle, or at least the mermaid variant of what people believe mermaids look like. So, and they're here. While for example, this one has got a lot of little details. Like there's no repetition on this map tile. Each map tile is drawn like by hand. There is no repeated texture. Everything is drawn from scratch every single time, because I wanted to create something that really feels like quality, and it's not like cheaply done or hastily done. Okay, so this is another corridor what we have here. And yeah, we got some set of stairs, another body for you to explore, some ancient creepy looking statues with candles. Another one here is destroyed. This one here, it's a shrine that has been half of it has been destroyed here. And this one here, obviously there's still a statue here, so you can't walk. This white line represents walls, and you can't move diagonally from here to here, but you kind of need to go around it. And the same with the edge tile. So you can never, if a square is blocked by a wall, you need to go around it and not diagonally. But you can walk diagonally through squares that don't have any walls, just like here with before. These little white crosses on the mermaid means that you cannot obviously cross the mermaid, you need to go either around it. Yeah, you need to go around it, not through it diagonally. Yeah. This other one here we have, it's like a corridor that is got all these phantoms that will try to interfere with you, and they will try to drag you down with them. So this is one of those things I was telling you, when you draw the card for this tile, it will tell you the rules that you need to do in order to pass through it unscathed. And yeah, basically what you need to roll and what will happen. So some of them have small surprises, and again, not gonna spoil too much now about it. Yeah, this is like a balcony with some kind of vortex hanging from beneath it. Yeah, all these map tiles actually have their own names and a little bit of, there's quite a bit of an idea that goes beyond each one of them. And again, there is no repetition, they're all unique. There is 30 of them, so yeah. This one here, it's like, again, there's also elevation going on in the game. There's not just like, it's not like a flat map, but it will give you the illusion that you're going up and down, turning around the stairs and corners. And a lot of this will feel like really lived or ruined, and, you know, again, trying to pack it with small details. Like this other one here, this little statue that is here. Again, part of the lore of the game. It's like a little shrine, and I believe here you will be able to get some, again, same thing, a token will be placed here that you can interact with. This one, much like the room with the apparitions, there will be a tentacle here that obviously will try to drag you and or you know, harm you as you're trying to pass. So you need to be careful when you're fighting monsters around here or when you're just passing. And the cool thing is that your friends will be able to help you if something happens to you. So it's very much dependent on the idea that you and your friends must cooperate. Same goes with this ramp. Like, you know, you don't want to fall down, but you can. And yeah, there is no really, like, at the moment, the game, there is no permanent death in any sense at the moment, at least. I just I just don't enjoy the idea that a player is out of the game and then you just need to look at your friends playing the game while you get bored, essentially. So there's always a way for you to come back, unless you do something really, really stupid, I guess, or, you know, you're just playing too much with fire, I suppose. Yeah, this is like a kitchen tile. It's got a lot of this one is probably one of the most complex I had to do. Maybe, I can't remember anymore, I've done so many. But yeah, you got even like little ingredients here, each like bread and salad and knives and cheese with a chopping board or meat, you know, and again, lots of things for you to do, to explore. And yeah, this one is it's like a library where you can learn about, collect items that will help you with the history of the world. I will explain more of that in future videos, exactly what that entails. This one I'm quite happy with how the mosaic turned out on the floor. It's like a proper mosaic that I had to draw tile by tile. It was fun, but it was very challenging. I'm glad that it turned out fine. It's like a little chapel with the queen representation in the middle of it, because the queen in this world, well, in this continent, with this land, it's everything. It's almost divine, you know, or rather, it is divine. These are like some prisons, dungeons, right? This is like a proper dungeon piece where there's like different cells all around it. And here we have like a feasting hall. Yeah, just like being all messed up by probably the fighting the monsters and the protagonist will do. And this is the last piece for the sort of the more human-based settlements, or rather dungeons. So there's first one piece here, which is like the two statues, and like these are very iconic characters within the lore of the world. But when I say there's this is the last map, it's not quite right. Like this is another map here, right? This is two different map tiles, This is what it looks like this. But when there is some situation where you will have to put them together to create a much bigger room. So that will be, again, no spoilers. There might be fighting something different when this will happen in this room. So it will be a nice big arena for you. And yeah, all the source of inspiration on this stuff, as I mentioned before, it's taken a lot of real life inspiration, and I've been using a reference found from this one a lot. A lot of the references are from areas surrounding Naples or Naples folklore type of things. And this one specifically, some of you might even see something similar in a Star Wars prequel movie, and that's because the movie was filmed in Royal Palace in Naples, just like I'm using the inspiration for the patterns all over the floors like that. Same thing with the statues back here, little Easter egg. Yeah, it's just for people who are really big fan of it. It doesn't require you to know all this stuff. It's just a personal thing, to be honest. Like I said, this whole project is like a nice sort of homage to my home, I guess you could say, to my home city. And yeah, this is again, this was starting with the ancient people, this ancient civilization that lived long ago, that the technology was rather advanced. So this kind of sarcophagus gives you little clues on what this might be used for. This one here, like pylons of some kind, or floating stones rather, but at the moment you don't really know what they're really used for. They're just there. So for you to care, it's just they're just obstruct your movement. This one here is again similar things, but this one here in the corners, they have like these stone faces, and yeah, this one here will be quite interesting to see if people can figure out exactly the meaning behind this room. But it doesn't matter. It's not for you to understand everything. It's more like a fun thing that over time, as you play and you read more things about the lore, you might pick things up as you play. Same thing with this. You see this sort of like this room here as like a smoky surface here like this. That's because the statue here, it's almost like an exhaust for some kind of underground technology, that basically there's like bursts of fires that comes out of here. Perhaps it's damaged, perhaps it's just its intent is unknown, but it's up to you to make up maybe the purpose behind it. But again, yeah, there's this funky statue right here, this ancient creature statue. This one here is one of my favorite room, and probably one of the most challenging to draw. It's actually called a convergent sphere, this. And I will not tell you though what this is used for, but I think it's going to be really cool once people figure it out. This one is the same room as before, except with a variant. The convergent sphere is smashed to bits, so there's bits all over the place, and the whole room is smashed. And yeah, who knows, right? What it is used for now. And yeah, this is the last piece. This is again following the same idea as before. It's like a body on the floor here, and this is like a pylon with energy running through it. There's all this energy also running through the floors. And again, some of people might recognize where these patterns are from. Like I said, I use real world reference, and because I want the feeling of the game and everything you will encounter to feel like it could really exist, basically. So I use a lot of real life reference, and everything you see here, again, it's just a lot of care, a lot of time was spent trying to figure things out on how to make it work visually from a player perspective. And yeah, and yeah, that's really it when it comes to the map tiles.